What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We're back on Pokemon and Pokemon Unite. Sorry about my voice, it's a little stuffy today. So I got a runny nose from just like a cold from like the weather and stuff. I'm just a little stuffy. So I apologize for the throat clears and the stuffiness sounding for this video. Anyways, this is going to be a lane tier list for Pokemon Unite. This is going to be covering how good Pokemon are in lane specifically. This is whether you're playing in competitive 5 stacks, solo queuing, even if you're just playing for fun, you know, how strong are these Pokemon in the lane specifically. I'll do a jungle tier list next. I'm going to cover all these Pokemon, put them in different lanes, which I have as such. So I have S tier is the superb lane. These are the best laners in the game. Straightforward. These are like the competitive meta laners. A tier is the awesome lane. These are very, very strong laners. They're not the competitively used ones. Like, they're not really seen competitive. But they're still very, very strong for, you know, their own reasons, their own merits. The B tier is there are better picks in lane. These are either very good Pokemon that are just better in the jungle, who can still lane, or they're Pokemon that are supposed to lane, but they're just not very strong, and there's just better Pokemon to pick in the lane position, like in the A tier, S tier. Then we have the C tier, which these are primarily junglers who can possibly lane. In some hypothetical, you are, let's say you're a one shot of a character who's in this category, and you're trying to jungle, but you have another teammate who has instant locked into jungle. This is like, can you possibly pull them off in lane or not, or do you have to switch off or something like that? So that's kind of this hypothetical. They maybe can lane, but you really shouldn't be laning them. Like, you should be going up here. And then there's the D tier, which don't lane. Do not lane these Pokemon. It's bad. It's bad. It's just bad. Like, don't do it. So I'm just gonna go in this website order. I think this is like release kind of order. Not really, I guess, because this is here. I don't really know what the order is here. It's just whatever. So yeah, it's like almost. I guess it's alphabetical. Minus Aegislash and Charmander and Dragonite. So it's not alphabetical. I don't know. Whatever. We're just gonna go with it. Alright, let's talk about Absol. Absol is a maybe lane. It is an early game bully in jungle. It could possibly early game bully in lane. You know, it's got a pretty good power spike at level 1. It's got good stats at level 1. It's got the crit rate. Or it doesn't have crit rate at level 1. Doesn't get it to like level 5, I think. It's definitely should be in the jungle, but it's not the worst pick in lane. Like, I think it can do it as like a discount Zeraora, who's a discount Lucario. So you really should. But if you have to, you can, I guess. Maybe. But 99 to 100% of the time, it should be in jungle. Ninetales is a great laner though. It's got a lot of CC. It's got some good damage. The burst build with Avalanche and Blizzard is a great burst build. Otherwise, you can do the more consistent boosted auto attack build in Dazzling Gleam and Aurora Veil. Great Pokemon. It's got some good supporting capabilities with it too. Just a lot of CC to help your team out. And a great early game lane bully. Blissey is another great lane Pokemon. It's just a little overshadowed by other supports. Mainly because Blissey cannot really do anything for itself. It has fine secure, has a good secure with pound at the very, very beginning of the game. And then from then on, you are just putting your faith in your teammates. And that can be a little awkward. It's great in 5 stacks. It's not the best support ever, but it's still very, very good. If you're playing, if you want to commit to a Blissey in lane, commit to just putting your faith in your teammates. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Charizard. Charizard is, I think I have him in can maybe lane as well. It's a very good jungler right now. It's like a top 4 jungler right now, and competitive and just in the meta. If you are in lane, you do have some range. So a lot of the thing with lane is it's so many range attackers that you're getting poked so much unless you're a tank. Like if you're squishy and in melee, it's just hard. It's very, very hard because you're just gonna get poked down, and you're not gonna be able to fight these things that are all these other Pokemon that are just kiting you, or these tanks that are just gonna sit there and bully you. So that's the issue. Charizard does have a little bit of range, so it's not the worst offender of this, but it's not like as much of a lane bull. It wouldn't really lane bully like an Absol would, but it could maybe lane okay. I could see after maybe a little buff to Charmander. If Charmander had a better execute or something, I don't know. If Charmander was a little bit better, it could maybe be a little bit better in lane. But right now, it really should just be jungled most of the time. Cinderace is a Pokemon that's going to go in the B tier, kick off the B tier. Kick off. Get it? Kick off because he's a soccer bunny. Get it? Anyways. Cinderace is the best jungler right now. It's fine in lane. It has the range. But it's just way better in jungle. And in lane, you know, like a lot of the lane range attackers are some kind of characters that have CC of some sort, whether it's a slow or something. Cinderace doesn't really have that. It does once you get Blaze Kick, which is like a slight stun, I guess. But like even then, it's really more of a get in there, do a lot of damage, put the team on your back, get farmed up really hard. Late game carry Pokemon than it is like a laner. You know, it's a jungler. It is meant to jungle, and it's way better in jungle. And Greninja is basically the same thing, so I'm going to talk about Greninja out of order too. It's basically just a slightly worse Cinderace. They're both fine in lane. They are fine in lane, but there are better picks, mainly because they should be in the jungle. Like that's where they should be. That's where they should be, comparatively. But if you have a team that's like Cinderace, Greninja, Charizard, you know, you're going to give the jungle to the Charizard because these two can lane easier than like a Charizard can. Cramorant is also, I'm going to put him in the B tier. It's not nearly as good as a Pokemon as it used to be. It's still fine. It's better in lane. It's a laner. It's not a jungler. It can possibly jungle. Like I'll talk about that in the jungle video. But it really should just be in lane. It's a great lane bully early on. But it just doesn't have the power to hold out. Like Ninetales kind of falls off late game too, but it still has a lot of stuns and CC and push and stuff. Cramorant still has like Hurricane and Surf are great CC, but its Unite move is really weak. It can't really keep things off. Like once you're in on a Cramorant, you kind of just kill it. And it just doesn't hold out late game like the other mages do. It's just really outclassed. That's why it comes in the B tier. So I'd say in lane, it's probably, I'm gonna put it above these two just because these two should be in jungle. Like Cram should be in lane, but it's not a very good laner, so I'm gonna put it here. Crustl's the same deal. It's just the worst defender right now. It's probably the worst defender right now. Maybe you jungle it. Crustl's in such a weird spot. Like it doesn't. I don't really know we don't really know where you should put it. I'm gonna assume lane. Like maybe you can kind of counter jungle invade with it like a little bit. It's fine in lane. It's just not very good. Like it's fine, but it's not the best. So it's just like Cramorant. In terms of defenders, it just needs, and it's having an identity crisis, I think, right now. Eldegoss, amazing S tier, the best support in the game. You're providing shields or movement speed, or you're healing, or you're knocking up the opponents, or you're giving yourself movement speed. You've got secure and objective steal with your Unite move, and you can push things away, push people away from your team, help out. You're actually doing a lot of damage, which is your basic attacks, like a muscle band. Yeah, Eldegoss is like a support carry. It's really funny. Yeah, such a good Pokemon, so good and competitive, super strong supportive. Garchomp, same deal as Charizard, except for with less range and less potential to be a lane bully. So I'm actually going to put Garchomp a little bit lower than Absol, I think, in terms of this. It really just needs to be in the jungle. It needs to hit that level 5 power spike early. It's very weak early on. They need to give it some kind of buff to Bulldoze. Maybe give it a buff to Sand Attack too. Like maybe make Sand Attack slow enemies. Maybe give Gibble a little bit more health just so it can tank a little bit better while it's a baby. It's just in lane it really struggles right now. It's not. It's just gonna get kited so hard. I mean, the issue with Garchomp in general is that it gets kited so hard. It's very strong now. Like don't get me wrong. As a jungler, it's very good. We'll talk about that in the jungler video. It's probably like an A tier jungler. But in lane, it's just going to get kited so hard. It's never really going to have good opportunity against good opponents. Again, this is like good opponents. Like if you're in a standard match, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But like, this is like high level ranked, 5 stacks, competitive stuff like that. Garchomp really should not be in lane. It should be in jungle. And I think it's going to be lower than Absol, just because Absol has the potential to be like a lane bully or even like a counter jungler. And Charizard has like some range. Garchomp just doesn't. He just doesn't have range. Gardevoir is going to be right above Cinderace and Greninja. It's somewhat similar to that. It's better in the jungler. It's better in the jungle. It's a very strong jungler. But it's fine. And it's pretty okay in lane 2. It's a late game scaling Pokemon. Ralts is pretty weak. Once it hits level 5, you have a massive power spike. Once you're Kirlia with either Side Shock or Future Sight, massive power spike. But at least it has CC. So once later on in the game, it's like the laning phase kind of merges into normal game and things kind of get weird. So like, yeah, it should be the jungle. But if you are in lane, it's not as bad. I think it's probably a little bit. I'm gonna put higher than these two, just because these two are better in the jungle. So like, if you had these three or two, like Cinderace and Gardevoir on a team, and only one could go to the jungle, you should put the Cinderace in the jungle, and the Gardevoir should go in lane. I guess there is some potential of like Gardevoir in lane as in the tri bot lane as an attacker, as the mage attacker. But Venusaur is too good there, so it's like, yeah, it's kind of weird. Gardevoir's in a weird spot. I could see some buffs to Ralts, putting it up here. Just some buffs to Ralts. I don't really know what it would be. Maybe Confusion does more damage. Something, I don't know. Maybe Teleport goes farther. Maybe Teleport has a shorter cooldown, so you're moving around a lot. That could be cool. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But yeah, so it's better picks in lane. Just definitely should be in the jungle, but it's just a very strong Pokemon. And can definitely survive in lane if it has to be there. Gengar, do not lane Gengar. Just don't. Please don't. Please don't. Don't use Gengar in general. Gengar's the worst character in the game right now. Just don't. Just don't. Please. Please. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. If they ever make it a ranged speedster, like if its basic attacks have range, then then we can talk. Then we can talk about it maybe here, but up until that point, just don't. It's awful. It's just a bad Pokemon. It's not a bad Pokemon. Lucario, stupid lane bully, stupid lane phase, the best laner, the best character in the game. Like, yeah. Lucario and solo top lane and competitive is the way. It is the meta. This is the way. This is Lucario. Yeah. Lucario in lane is great. It's a great jungler too, but in lane it's just dominant. I'm not gonna explain Lucario to you guys. But Champ, however, I will explain. But Champ has really shot up in the meta. It's the point where it's getting close to rivaling Lucario in top lane. Very strong early game, or very, very strong late game, and Machop early game is actually pretty good because Karate Chop has a lot more execute damage, so it's great for securing farm and even just getting kills and fighting early on in the lane. It's great, it's pretty solid. It's got the mobility to be a ranged or to be a melee character in the lane. I don't know if I've talked about this yet. But just being in lane as a ranged, yeah, I think I talked about it. But being in lane as a melee character is very rough. You have to either be a tank to absorb a lot of the damage that you're going to take as you're getting kited and stuff, or you have to have like a lot of dashes and a lot of mobility, like Lucario has, like Zero Aura has, like Absol could have, to kind of make up for that. And Machamp kind of has that, bulk up makes you unstoppable, and you can move. You got secure, you got slows, and then you get like dynamic punch or submission for like dash moves. So he's got what it takes to survive in lane, and he's very, very strong. He's also a great jungler, but he's kind of shaping more into lane, which is pretty interesting. Mime, I'm going to put right above Ninetales. Used to be in the meta, just fell off a little bit. Just Slow Smoke makes things a little awkward for him, but it's very, very strong. He's a tank. He's a tank. He's super bulky. The Barrier Confusion is such a great build. Guard Swap Confusion is also a pretty interesting build. But Barrier's just better. It's just better. Unite Move's great. Yeah, it's a great Pokemon. It's a great defensive Pokemon, defender Pokemon, support Pokemon. Great. Pikachu is probably the best mage right now. When I say mage, it's like the special attackers. The attackers that aren't like autoing you the whole time to kill you, they are using their abilities. Their moves, their abilities, their spells, whatever you want to call it. Pikachu is very strong. A lot of great skill shots, or a lot of great, stun, AoE attacks. Great ultimate that you can use a lot early game. It's an early game bully, and it holds through the mid game. It holds through the late game because of its Unite move being so frequent. It's just up all the time. You're basically using the Unite move all the time. It's crazy. Pikachu it's so good right now. Slowbro is almost meta. Slowbro is almost meta. I kind of want to put it in the meta, but I don't think I think I'll put it at the top here. Just because like in solo queue, if you're using telekinesis, you need teammates to be there ready for you to telekinesis, because if you grab something and no one's around to do anything with it, it's just like, okay, it's pointless. And if you're in a team fight and you grab something and no one's there to do anything with it, it's just like, okay, well, that's pointless. Same thing with your ult. It's kind of just like, okay, well, that was pointless. No one's around to do anything with it. So in solo queue, I think you really rely on team, which is why I will pull it down here. It's kind of like a Blissey type thing. But it's a great defender. It's very, very tanky. It heals a lot with just like a potion, or if you're running Amnesia. Surf is amazing. Its autos are good for just slows and chip damage. It's very, very strong Pokemon right now. Probably the best defender, actually, currently. Snorlax is also very good. I'm going to put Snorlax probably below the other defenders. Maybe above Ninetales. I don't know what to do with Ninetales. I'll just keep the defenders kind of grouped here together. I'll just kind of do something like that. Kind of group characters for now. Snorlax is still a great defender. Block is still a great move. Its Unite move is a little cheeky, but you're just being a roadblock. You're just being a roadblock, being a distraction, soaking up damage, not dying, lasting longer. And then Heavy Slam is still the best move. Just that ranged leap knockup is great. And then into block, you can just knock people up and then block them and shove them away, save your teammates. Flail is a gimmick build. Yawn is okay, but it's not block, so don't run that build. Yeah, Snorlax is still Snorlax. He still does his Snorlax things, but he's just kind of. There's just been other Pokemon that have kind of just stepped up to the plate and kind of filled the spot that he used to fill like 100% of the time. Like he used to be like the number one. Like you always had. You needed a Snorlax. Now it's kind of fallen from that position. And you can run other defenders other than Snorlax, but Snorlax is still very, very good. Do not get me wrong. Snorlax is like, I barely see Snorlaxes anymore, but it's still so good. It's still just so good. It's still so good. I'll probably put it right behind mine. I think I like this right here. Talonflame is a great jungler, but is not a good laner. It is not a very good laner. You can maybe do it, but it's not a very good idea. It's just not a good idea. Like acrobatics. This thing is meant to 1v1. It is meant to gank. It's meant to gank. It's meant to 1v1. It is not meant to 2v2. It's not meant to really team fight. That's the thing with Talonflame. It's meant to pick things off, and it's very, very good at doing that. And in lane, you're basically team fighting. You're in a 2v2 the entire time. And yeah, it's not supposed to lane. Put this thing in the jungle. It's way better in the jungle. If you have to lane it, I don't know if I like it more than Garchomp. I mean, you have acrobatics for like a dash, I guess. And attack weight is a good build for it, so I think I will put it here. Do I want to put it over Absol just because of attack weight? Just because Talonflame is a better character than Absol right now, I will put it above Absol. Maybe. I don't know if I like... I don't know. This and Absol. Okay, Talonflame and Absol can go hand in hand, but attack weight is a build, so if you have it in lane, you're doing attack weight build, it's fine, you know, whatever. I'm going to put it above Absol just for that purpose. Just for that purpose. But yeah, you have to be very careful. You have to basically not fight a lot. You just like secure farm and you leave. If you're playing a Talonflame in lane. So yeah, you should be doing it. But then, you know, once you get level 5 Aerial Ace, then you can fight. Once you get Aerial Ace or Flame Charge, you should be running Aerial Ace right now. Then you can fight. Stacking attack weight could be good. So if you have it in lane as like stacking attack weight, like it's got more potential in like a top lane, like a solo lane top laner. If there's like a mutual respect that you and the other top laner don't fight, you guys just like score to stack your attack weight and farm up. Then it'd be fine. Then it'd be fine. It'd be totally fine, like here or something. But that's not legit. That's not like really very realistic. So it's gonna be here. And I think Charizard. I think I'll leave Charmander there at the top. It just feels right to me. I don't really know why. It does. It just has ranged things. So like, yeah, I'll leave it there. Let's go back to the S tier. Venusaur S tier, amazing, super strong Pokemon. Razor Leaf is a lot of damage, a lot of damage at the beginning. Seed Bomb is just good for like damaging and secure. Its auto attack, its boosted auto attack is so strong. It's a slow. It's great in lane. And then you kind of fall off a little bit from level 3 to level 7. You fall off a little bit until you get level 7 and you get Solar Beam, and then you're very strong. Solar Beam or Razor Leaf, or no, I'm sorry. Solar Beam, or you have Giga Drain, Petal Dance, whichever build. Both of them are good. It really just depends on like team comp and stuff. Yeah, once you get both of your moves, even before you're a Venusaur, just once you have both of your moves, this thing just, it hits such a hard power spike. It's so good. It's so good. And late game and your Venusaur and like the Unite move is actually pretty good in team fights if everyone's just clumped. You just check the Unite move in there and do a lot of damage. And then you run in and you Petal Dance Giga Drain and you're living forever. You have so much sustain. Or you're sitting back and sniping with Sludge Bomb and Solar Beam. You're slowing people with Sludge Bomb and doing residual damage, and you're sniping with Solar Beam and doing so much damage, and its boosted auto is so good. Venusaur. Wigglytuff is also S tier. Wigglytuff is probably still the premier like tank. Just great engage and CC with Rest. Or not Rest, sorry, Sing. Rollout's good. Rollout is fine. It's a little bit more niche. I want to say it's just like more niche and situational. Sing is just universal. It's just super good. Dazzling Gleam, Double Slap, both of them are fine attack. You actually do a lot of damage. You can have some good damage as like Wigglytuff. Like you can. It's kind of like Eldegoss, like compared to Blissey. Like you can actually do damage and do things on your own. Like you can 1v1 a couple Pokemon as a Wigglytuff. For like solo queue, an example, so you're not like just relying on your team, and you're just a great engage, you're a great tank. Yeah, it's a great Pokemon. I'll probably just group all the supports together, so something like this. Zeraora. Zeraora is actually a pretty good lane. I don't know if I want to put it in B tier or A tier. It's like a discount Lucario, but then like the discount Lucario is like Machamp, but also it's not discount. So yeah, Zeraora is fine in jungle, or fine. It's a great jungler. It's a very good jungler. It's supposed to be in jungle. But it's in lane, it's fine. It is fine. I don't know if I want to put it above Cramorant. That feels weird. I'll put it right here next to Cramorant. And Crustle. I think it's just a better Pokemon than Crustle. It's a better Pokemon than Cramorant too. It's just like it's perfectly serviceable in lane. So maybe I'll put it at the top here. It's a perfectly serviceable lane Pokemon. You can do it. It works out fine. If you did an attack weight build, that could work. Like you could do it. You could do like attack weight and build that up in lane. That could be okay. Otherwise, you just run your classic. I think it's like Muscle Band, Buddy Barrier, and Focus Band is the build right now, or like a Weakness Policy maybe. Yeah, it should be in jungle, but it's perfectly serviceable in lane. It's kind of an early game bully, like everything I was talking about with Absol and Lucario. It's like the perfect middle ground of Absol and Lucario. It's like Lucario is super good in lane. Absol should not be in lane. But they're all like lane bullies, a lot of dashes, good mobility, good like one-shot potential, kind of like doing a lot of damage in one hit. Zeraora is like right there in the middle, so you have like good, like Lucario very good, Absol not so good, Zeraora pretty good. So I like it like here. Yeah, I think I'll probably put it in the B tier. But I like it there. Blastoise is great in lane. It's an awesome laner. It's a great top laner. It can also jungle. It can jungle. Yeah, it's a very strong Pokemon. It's got some good. It's got a strong early game as Squirtle. It'll kind of fall off in the middle a little bit as Wartortle. Just like Venusaur, I think it's like the same power scaling as Venusaur. But once you get both of your moves, whether it's Water Spout and Rapid Spin or Surf Hydro Pump, you got both builds. Once you get both of your moves, you've got a lot of CC or you've got a lot of damage you can output. You live for a long time. Your night moves very, very strong. Very good Pokemon. Great in lane. I like it more than Snorlax right now. it can kind of just be like a solo top laner, kind of like these guys, which is really cool. So I'm actually gonna put it above mine. I'm gonna put it there. I like that. I like that. It's a very strong Pokemon right now. Mamoswine is another awesome laner. It's a great defender. I don't know why to put it higher than Snorlax. I don't actually know if I want to put it higher than Snorlax. I don't think I will. I think Snorlax is probably still better. But high horsepower and Ice Fang is great, or if you do Icicle Crash. Huh. I think its scaling is very similar to Blastoise. It's that in the mid game you can be stuck as Piloswine for a little while, but then once you turn to Mamoswine, you're a very good defender. You're very bulky. You can absorb a lot of damage. You actually deal some good damage back too, and you just dragging people along with high horsepower. You're scooping somebody and pulling them back into your team with Ice Fang, or you're a good engaged with Icicle Crash. Your Unite move is okay, not very good. Yeah, very strong early game, like very strong early game as Swine Up. That's what it is. Yeah, I like it a lot. And Mamoswine and Ninetales is a very strong lane too. So I will keep them right next to each other for that purpose. Sylveon, I'm gonna actually separate from Ninetales. Is awesome lane. It's close to being S tier. It's very close to being S tier, but I'm gonna put it here. It does a lot of damage. Swift does a lot of damage. Once you get Hyper Voice, which you evolve it to Sylveon at level 4, and you get Hyper Voice at level 4, which is crazy. Or you can have Mystical Fire, which is a little bit worse than Hyper Voice, but you're just doing a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. You hold out to late game well. You're a very solid mage. You don't have the range, so I think that's why it's not S tier. You don't have huge range that like Pikachu and Venusaur have, and even like Cinderace, Greninja have more range than you. So Sylveon could use a range buff, I think, just on boosted attacks, on auto attacks and stuff. But it's super awesome laner. Greedent is so Greedent is a counter jungler. This thing is a counter jungler. So therefore, I'm going to put it high in the jungle tier list because it does go in the jungle, just not your jungle. It goes in their jungle. Therefore, it's not in lane. And as a laner, as literally just sitting in the lane, it is not as good of a defender. So I'm going to put it next to Crustle. I actually kind of like Crustle more in the lane than I do like Greedent, just because Crustle has CC. Greedent does not have CC. He's kind of a selfish Pokemon. You're kind of like, you're not really helping your team as Greedent by like being there and doing things for them. You're helping your team by halting the jungler and pulling a lot of attention away from people as Greedent. That's what you do as Greedent. You're not really like, you're not stunning people. You're not pushing people. You're not blocking people. You're not hitting this area of this AoE damage. Like this is the circle AoE damage that slows people like that Crustle does. Like I was just naming everything that Crustle could do for you in lane. Greedent doesn't do any of that. So in lane, I'm actually gonna put it. I think for just sitting in lane, I'm actually gonna put it down here. I think at the bottom of B tier. It is a counter jungler. That's what it's supposed to do. Maybe it should be higher. I don't know. It's like it's just kind of weird. It's a weird thing because like it's such a unique role right now. It's like the only real counter jungler right now. And it's kind of weird to put it, so I'm going to put it higher on the jungling tier list. Like the jungling tier list, it's going to go S. But in the lane tier list, in lane, like just sitting there in lane, not leaving to go counter jungle, like staying there in the lane, it's probably B tier. Decidueye is, I'm going to put below Cinderace and Greninja. It is worse than them in every way. I think it is worse than them in every way. It's also just like a worse Venusaur. Decidueye is not very good. Decidueye is probably a bottom 3 Pokemon right now. It's like the bottom 3 Pokemon right now is like Gengar, Decidueye, and then like Crustle, Trevenant. It's like those 3, 4. The 5th would probably be like a Cramorant. Possibly. It's kind of weird. So all the reasons I was talking about with Cinderace and Greninja, Decidueye should also be in the jungle. It's better in the jungle. But if you are in lane, it's fine. It's got the range. It's just so squishy. You're gonna get dove. If there's like some kind of lane bully, like a Zeraora, it's really just gonna bully the Zeraora. Or the Zeraora is gonna bully you. The Lucario is gonna bully you. The Pikachu is gonna bully you. You're just gonna get bullied so hard because he's just not very good. He needs some help. He needs a lot of help right now. So I'm gonna put him in B tier. He should be in jungle, but if you are in lane, like he's fine. He's a better laner than like these guys. He's just not a very good Pokemon. So Sarina is a fine laner. I don't know if I want to put her in A tier. She's fallen down. She's not as good as these guys are, but she's still very, very strong. She's still very strong. She still has a lot of healing and a lot of damage and stuff. Yeah, she's still really good. So I will put her here in the A tier still. She can jungle. I think she's better in lane though. I don't know. Maybe she's fine in both. Yeah, she's probably a slightly better laner. A tier here in the A tier, maybe above Blue Sea. I'll just keep her here. I'll just keep her here right now. Yeah, great in lane. Not as good as she was before. She's not like Machamp. Like she used to be, like here, like better than Lucario type thing. But she fell down a little bit. She got a respectful nerf and is falling down to here. And I think it's a good spot for her. Dragonite. I think Dragonite can maybe lane. I don't know if I want to do B tier or C tier, because the thing with Dragonite is having the blue buff on Dragonite is huge. Having just buffs on Dragonite is huge, which is why it's a very, very good jungler right now. Like if you're doing Dragonite's Hyper Beam, you really want blue buff for that secure. So your secure is super strong. So like if later on in the game you're just grabbing buffs, then you know it's good. Like Dragonite without buffs on like Outrage is fine. So I think I might put it, and it's a ranged all-rounder, so it has more range than these guys, which makes me want to put it higher because it has like the poke and stuff. So can lane. So yeah, I think I'll put it here. I don't know if I want to put it above all these attack. I'll put it above Decidueye, maybe. I don't know if I want to put it like here. It's either gonna go here or right here. I don't know which. I'm gonna put it here. You know, I'm gonna put it here. I like it here. It has range. You get Dragon Dance early, which so you have a lot of mobility to go in and score. If you were doing attack weight build, I don't think you really do attack weight build. Maybe if you're doing outrage, I don't know. It definitely wants buff, so it's better in the jungle, but it has range, it has a lot of dashes. It's got some more health than these guys too, so it's not going to get picked on as much, considering these guys don't have CC early on, like these guys do, or I don't know. It's kind of weird to talk about. Venusaur is also an amazing jungler. I don't know if that does anything, but like, I'm just to get that out of the way. Venusaur is like the opposite of Cinderace. Is like these two are so strong right now that Cinderace is super strong but should be in the jungle, but can lane, and then Venusaur can definitely jungle. I think Venusaur's jungle is stronger than Cinderace lane, but it should just be in the lane just because Cinderace. Yeah. All right, Trevenant it's gonna go down here by Crustle. I think it's maybe a little bit better than Crustle. I don't know. It's like the same. It's like around the same tier right now. I like its Woodhammer Horn Leech build for just raw CC. I think it's pretty okay in lane. It's just kind of like another tank that's not as good as these tanks. Like you have these tanks, all good, and then you have like these tanks which are not very good. And then you are not really a tank. You're a counter jungler, so it's weird. But yeah, I'm gonna put it right next to Crustle. I think it's just like you just kind of outclass the same way that Crustle is. Not as much of an identity crisis. Yeah, I don't know. I like to put it there as just like there's better picks. There's better laners than you. Okay, so then I'm actually going to pull Zeraora down here. So I'm going to do this. So you have these three who are supposed to be in lane, but they're not very good laners compared to these guys who are supposed to be in lane. And then you have the rest over here who are supposed to be in jungle, but if they do have to go in lane, they're pretty okay. So I like that separation. I don't know if I'll do another tier for this. Probably not. But I'll just kind of separate it like that. And then Aegislash, newest character in the game. Should be in jungle, but in lane it's okay. I don't know if I want to put it here or if I want to put it down here. I don't know. It's either right here or right here. It's like it's either worse laner than it's a worse laner than Serena, and I don't know if it's a better laner than Zeraora. So it's gonna go right here. I really just don't know. I really just don't know. It should be in the jungle. As a Pokemon, I think it's pretty on par with Zeraora, like in just tier list wise. But it should be in the jungle. This one's hard to say. This one's very hard to say. I really don't know. For now, I'm gonna put it right here. I think I'm gonna put it right there. I think just the fact that Zeraora could be a full-on lane bully is a little bit more useful at the current moment. I could be wrong. This thing could be a laner. It could be. But right now, just as we've seen so far, it should be the jungle, mostly. But if it does go in lane, it's fine, but still a better jungler. So, I like it right here. I'm just going to put it right here for now. I don't know if I want to put Dragonite higher than it, actually. Actually, the more I think about it, Dragonite in lane is actually pretty okay. It's actually pretty okay. I don't know if I want to put it above Zeraora even. It just loves the buff so much. It just loves blue buff so much. I don't know. This ordering is gonna be a little wonky. I'm just gonna do this. Okay. Dragonite, you're gonna stay here. Aegislash, you're gonna go here because I think you are slightly worse than. I think you're on the same spot as Zeraora. I'm just gonna put you right next to it. And then this is all good here. You are not a laner. Okay, but if you were in lane, I guess you'd be better than this just because you're like a tanky defender with dashes. And yeah. Greedent will stay here, but it's a counter jungler, so it shouldn't really be in lane. It's a weird spot. So this B tier is the hardest part. This right here, this is the hardest part. This is really easy. This is easy. This is pretty easy, minus like this ordering, like right here. And then this is all very easy to do. It's just this list. You could move it around this ordering, but that's pretty much how it is. You've got these three who are fine in lane, who are supposed to be in lane, but are not as good in lane as these guys are. And then you've got these guys who are all either junglers or a counter jungler, who are fine in lane. You have the junglers who are probably not okay in lane, and then you have the jungler who, one, you shouldn't be jungling, you shouldn't be playing at all, but you should definitely not play in the lane. And then you got the amazing laners, and the superb laners and the awesome laners. So that's gonna do it for my two. This is gonna do it for the lane tiers, guys. Sorry, this one was a little bit long. I think the jungle one will go a little quicker because there's just a lot of Pokemon. I'm just like, don't lane, don't jungle, don't jungle, don't jungle, don't do it. Why would you do this? Yeah. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time.